Did you read this article that appeared on the Market Watch Money List webpage? My wife inherited $800K. She put $300K toward our mortgage and $500K in her own bank account after 35 years of marriage. Obviously, first world problems. The reality is, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, and the penalty of having no life plan is a lifetime of work and no money. This story is a disaster for a multitude of reasons as I read through it. The fact that the husband is worried about his wife divorcing him and him having to pay alimony because when she got the money, well, she committed to paying off the $300,000 mortgage and then put the remaining $500,000 in her personal bank account, not their joint account. That alone should tell you some things about how she may have been, probably treated in this relationship. And I'm thinking, she's thinking about leaving him now that she has a chance. But this video isn't so much about the relationship as it is about the financial situation they find themselves in at near retirement age. Welcome to MGA Investing. My name is Dee. According to the article, the husband is 65 years old and still working. The wife is 59, and after working for 13 years, she'll get a small pension. The husband also gets a pension at retirement. They had 2 children, which are all grown and have their own jobs. The husband earns around $100,000 a year and according to the article has racked up $80,000 in debt, while the wife has about $2,800 in debt. They have no other savings and no 401k, so except for this windfall of cash, what exactly was their financial plan? Apparently, well, there wasn't one. Let's try to figure out a few things based upon the information that was provided in the article. Let's see now, if they lived in America, they probably both get, some type of Social Security, but for how long it will be solvent, well, your guess is as good as mine. Their pension, well, you hope it's solvent and wasn't poorly managed by a pension custodian that maybe placed it in the hands of an unscrupulous hedge fund manager that got rich but left the pension nearly empty. Without the $300K to pay off the house, how exactly were they going to pay the mortgage? Live and take care of life certainties and uncertainties. This, unfortunately, is a situation many American adults find themselves in at their advanced age. According to a study conducted by the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, 4 in 10 American adults would have difficulty covering a $400 unexpected expense without carrying a balance on a credit card or borrowing from family or friends. And nearly 12% of adults would be unable to pay the $400 expense by any means. The reality is many people struggle to pay their actual bills without an unexpected expense, which often results in paying partial monthly bills such as rent, mortgage, utility bills, credit cards, and car payments. No one plans for this to happen. Sometimes it happens because of unfortunate and unforeseen events like medical bills that, turn family lives upside down, a loss of a job, or a pandemic. Other times it is the result of having no plan at all. Eat, drink, and be merry because tomorrow we die. But it's that tomorrow thing that gets so many people because you just don't know when you're going to die. Sometimes people live too long. Well, sometimes people live with medical complications. Stuff happens in life. And that is exactly why you need a plan. Number 1, plans often turn out to be useless. Like Joe Frazier, the former heavyweight champion of the world, once said, everyone has a plan until they get hit in the mouth. Or as it is said in the Army, very few plans survive contact with the enemy. That holds true in war and life. And number 2, you can't write out a move-by-move plan. If you do, you will fail. Life knows how to pitch curveballs, and it has an endless supply of balls and a strong arm. The real purpose of a plan is to help you mentally work through the right issues. It's the mental exercise of completing the process of planning that provides the real value. What you need instead is what the Army calls the CI, or Commander's Intent. The CI is a concise, simple statement that appears at the top of every Army order. It specifies the plan's goal and the desired end state of an operation. The CI is never so specific and detailed that it's at the risk of being rendered obsolete by unpredictable events, because you got to remember the enemy doesn't have your plan, and the enemy is actually not an actor in your screenplay. In the words of the military, you can lose the ability to execute the original plan, but you never lose the responsibility of executing the intent. When people know the desired destination, what the goal is, they're free to improvise as needed in arriving there. There are 2 useful questions used to write a CI. If we do nothing else during tomorrow's mission, we must blank. The single most important thing we must do tomorrow is blank. The purpose of the CI's question is to force the officer to focus on the most important goal of the operation. This should be the same with your financial plan as well. For it to work, it must be crystal clear but flexible. Number one, you could say something like, if we accomplish nothing else financially, we must blank. Or number two, the single most important thing we must do tomorrow to move towards financial independence is blank. This could be as simple as, if we accomplish nothing else financially, we must be debt-free. Number two, the single most important thing we must do tomorrow to move towards financial independence is eliminate debt. You fill in your own blanks. If you desire to be financially independent, there are several small goals you may want to attain first. One at the top of my list would be, you have to manage your income, meaning get to where you're keeping more of your income that you earn. The 50-30-20 rule, a concept originated by Elizabeth Warren and her daughter and introduced in their best-selling book, All Your Worth, The Ultimate Lifetime Money Plan, which was instrumental in changing my life and that of my wife, is a great place to start. The 50-30-20 rule is a good goal and useful guide to help you better manage your money without feeling like you're having to count every single penny you spend. This is how it works in a nutshell. 50% of your net income is spent on needs and goes into the needs bucket. These are things that are necessary for survival: your mortgage or rent, car payment, insurances, utilities, groceries, health care. And then 30% of your monthly net income is set aside for wants and goes into the wants bucket. These are life's non-essentials or optional items. Things like entertainment, dining out, vacations, miscellaneous shopping, lattes, gym memberships. You get the picture. Things that are not essential. And then 20% of your net income is set aside for savings and goes into your savings bucket to eliminate debt, build your emergency fund, contribute to your retirement account, or save for home purchases. You see, without a plan, the enemy, debt, well, it steals your future. It gets you to buy things today you think you want with money you haven't yet earned, nor are even promised to earn, often just to impress people you don't know and probably don't even like. It's called consumerism, and it's an infectious disease of the worst kind, and it can literally eat you from the outside in. Take this couple in this article, for instance. They're not that much different from millions of couples throughout America. They make a fairly decent combined annual income and probably own, probably 2 cars, one fairly nice. And, I actually know couples that have 2 cars at home and 2 car payments on top of a house payment. Now, to me, that's a scary financial situation. If one in that couple loses their job, their life turns into a financial disaster within 90 days. Imagine if you're making a high income, living at the income level that you're making, and you lose your job. It can often be difficult to replace that income immediately, leaving you to now make some very difficult decisions that were far easier to make before you made the decision to get in the position you may find yourself in today. Hence the importance of a plan. It's not that because you have a plan, you will avoid all difficult situations in the future, but the process of thinking through and writing down a plan, a commander's intent, will leave you better prepared to meet those unforeseen obstacles in the future, whether you get an 800K windfall or not. Thanks for watching, and if you found value in this video, please click the thumbs up and subscribe, and help us build a community of like-minded investors that share information and research that an entire community here on MGA Investing can benefit. See you next time.